How's it going, y'all? How's it going? Again, y'all already know it is Zachariah White, a.k.a. Big Daddy Drip, back at it like it's nothing with this drip in the sauce, because I am the boss. My apologies, y'all. I definitely, y'all listen, duty calls, man. My girlfriend called and, just got back. Got back home. So, it is what it is. It is what it is. But nonetheless, man, we're back. We're back. This will be the final. Just so I'm not drawing out, I guess, this particular episode over too many parts. This will be the final part, the final video. Well, not video, but I'll say file. File is a more suitable word or whatnot, because on YouTube it'll be a video, but for again the podcasting sites, it may be something to, audio. It'll be an audio file. But anyway, in connection, I guess in relation to what we were just talking about, just with regard to the balancing of some sort. You know what? Wow, really? I already mentioned this particular topic in the last video about the baby controversy. Now, what I didn't do is get into. Oh yeah, I read one particular quote. I read what he had said, and I'll reread it. I'll re-mention it again. In this particular file, you guys. All right. So essentially, what he said was, if you didn't show up today with HIV, AIDS, or any of them deadly sexually transmitted diseases that'll make you die in 2 or 3 weeks, then put your cell phone lighter up. He told attendees. Ladies, if you smell like water, put your cell phone lighter up. Fellas, if you ain't sucking dick in a parking lot, put your cell phone lighter up. That's what he said. And Okay. We'll come back. We'll come back to what he said. We'll come back to what he said, because it's definitely something of interest. But the quote. Well, I'll also get into some other stuff, right? Because T.I. and this was to me, again, a lot of celebrities came out and said a whole bunch. A whole bunch of people came out and said their piece. Support. I'm not gonna say in support of the baby. Just came out. In support and opposition of something. I'll say that's pretty fair for everybody. For many of the celebrities that came out and spoke. But what T.I. said was, if you're gonna have the Lil Nas X video and him living his truth, and you damn sure have people like the baby who gonna speak their truth. He said, ain't nothing wrong with none of it. It ain't gotta be no hate. It's all honesty. Everybody living in their truth. Okay. And then Dua Lipa. I said Dua Lipa. My apologies. I'm sorry. No, no disrespect. My apologies. Dua Lipa. She said, I'm surprised and horrified at the baby's comments. I really don't recognize this as the person I worked with. She wrote on IG stories. I know my fans know where my heart lies, and that I stand 100% with the LGBTQ community. Okay. We need to come together to fight the stigma and ignorance around HIV/AIDS. All right. There is something in every quote that I think it's something that there's something that perhaps needs to be, I'll say highlighted, I guess addressed, but highlighted or whatever. And then Elton John, he said, we've been shocked to read about the HIV misinformation and homophobic statements made at a recent DaBaby show. All right. And then he said, this fuels stigma and discrimination, and is the opposite of what our world needs to fight the AIDS epidemic. All right, now I couldn't agree more with what Elton John said. But essentially, my questions that I have was, what are the considerations and thoughts Initially, I said of the baby's quote and T.I.'s quote, but really, I think I might go down the whole list of everybody's particular quote. And I will start off with the baby. All right. Now, as far as I didn't quite, type out long what my answer was because I sort of kind of wanted to talk it out, right? And I guess work my way through it, with you guys. But essentially, like my stance was was ultimately and finally, not in support of what he said. But this is what I will tell you guys, all right? And I will leave this up to you guys when it comes to taking this into consideration of this particular situation. Well, my apologies. I'll leave that up to you guys to wow. Okay, my fault. I'm definitely going to repeat myself because I feel like I thought I said situation twice in one sentence, but I'll leave this to you guys again in consideration for whatever situation that you guys come across, even this one. But whenever, regardless of, you just keep this in mind. Whenever someone is speaking, right, it is very hard to be 100% right or 100% wrong in every single, every word, every I guess segment of a sentence, every sentence itself. It's very hard to be 100% correct or 100% wrong. All right, and the reason, and this is something that this is an, I'm not going to say an observation. This is like I guess a thought that I came to mind just when not even in sole consideration of this particular situation, but just in general. All right, it is even sometimes I think with the most smartest of people, they're not going to be 100% correct, or even the most and people and you guys may disagree with it, but even the most ignorant of people, or I guess people who hit so far off the mark. All right, it is hard for them to be wrong with 100% of what was stated. All right, but nonetheless, though, I guess even that, even though that may or may not be true, there's still gonna be discussion on whatever part that is wrong, or that is, I guess, a point of interest. But as far as looking at the particular quote, right? I will, like, I guess, break down my thoughts, right? Because I heard what he said at the time that he said it. Well, not, I didn't hear it directly. I just heard what other people said. And some people, again, sometimes you have to really look at what was actually said, just because some people's summarizations, it could be off a little bit, right? It's always a dilemma when it comes to the pursuit of information, right? And I guess this boils down to it's sort of kind of like the telephone game, or whatever game. If you tell somebody one thing and you let it get around or whatever, it's not going to come back to you the same way that you gave it out. The piece of information is not going to come back the same. Somebody's going to add new details, other shit. It may be true, may be false, but nonetheless, it's going to be added shit that wasn't there originally, or all that other sort of jazz. But nonetheless, though, looking at the first part, right? It says, if you didn't show up today with HIV or AIDS or any of them deadly sexually transmitted diseases that'll make you die in 2 or 3 weeks, then put your cell phone lighter up. Now, I don't know. This could be sort of kind of that this is towards people who are have been misfortunate enough to have those particular diseases. Wow. For a moment, I was about to say, because when I read that yesterday, and this is why I wanted to work it out, is because I didn't think that there was something like it didn't quite register, at that part. I was like, okay, like maybe like that's a little questionable. That's every, like, the whole thing is sort of kind of like I don't know. That one, I think I attributed something to it. I was like, okay, yeah, no, okay, that's sort of kind of, you sort of kind of against HIV and AIDS. I think the reason why I was sort of kind of like, this whole thing seems shaky is because I was instinctively looking for, okay, well, what's the insult against the LGBTQ community? As far as that first part, that first sentence, there, to my understanding, that wasn't there wasn't anything, unless you know unless someone is coming about making a connotation to HIV and AIDS within that particular sentence, nothing's there. But nonetheless, though, yeah, that ain't gonna be a cool thing for people with HIV and AIDS. I'll tell you that much. And then it says, ladies, if you if your goods smell like water, then put your cell phone lighter up. Now, the baby's from the hood and all that other sort of shit, and I don't. Everybody's not gonna understand this or whatnot, but there's a certain kind of way that them niggas get it up, bro. Like I said, get it up. My fault. There's a certain kind of way that I guess they go about, and I say they because I'm familiar with that, and I'm not gonna sit up here and say like, okay, well, I come from the streets and blah blah blah, but I have seen it, right? I've seen it and lived in it and all that other sort of shit. But yeah, no, I'm no stranger to it, but nonetheless, though, wow, that. And here's the thing, though. The reason why I guess I'm even going, just the mere fact that we're going back and forth and breaking this shit down, it's just the society we fucking live in nowadays, man. Like, bro, I'm telling you one thing. It's very, very feelings and emotion based nowadays. For better or worse. That comes with its benefits and drawbacks. But so now we legit have to question everything. Like, because I'll say this. Had I have looked at that, had I have read that when I was in the sixth grade, basically when I was, in that type of environment or whatnot, I'd have been like, yo, that is, bro, listen, people can whatever. Somebody may mess around and get offended, but nonetheless, that was full on like that was intended, and it still was intended to hype one up, right? But now I'm more understanding of the fact that even though it was intended to hype people up or whatnot, that could also, and pause. I think perhaps that might have hyped people up or whatnot at Rolling Loud, but nonetheless, I guess that could also deter people and turn people off. But this part right here, fuck, I don't know. I can't. Ain't much going back and forth, man. Because you said, fellas, if you ain't sucking dick in a parking lot, put your cell phone lighter up. God, I don't know the baby. That's towards the gay. That's towards the people of the gay community. It's just that part right there. That's the main thing. And it's like, okay, well oh, yeah. Yeah, that in today's society, that'll trigger it. That'll trigger it. That'll listen. You was already pouring too much on top of the back, but that one really broke it right there. But yeah, just overall, I get the fact that I think overall, like, the baby wasn't lying when he said that he was trying. I don't think that he was lying when he said that he was trying to hype people up or whatnot. But nonetheless, though, sort of kind of at the expense of others, that's present. That's sort of kind of present. At the very least, with two. Of 66% of that quote, you fired shots at somebody. Right, whether knowingly or not, whether knowingly or intentionally or not. But the second quote of interest, excuse me, if you're gonna have a Lil Nas X video and him living out his truth, you damn sure gonna have people like the baby speaking out his truth, and ain't nothing wrong with that. It ain't gotta be no hate. It's all honesty. Everybody's living in their truth. I won't lie. I 100% agree. Again, for better or worse, right or wrong, I 100% agree with what Ti said. All right, and essentially, and I recall, like, basically I had some more stuff that I typed out about that. But basically, again, with today, and here's the thing, right? Because it we have to talk about things in terms of the modern society, today's society. There has been a mass deterioration of borders, restrictions in many different regards. Even the mere fact that there is an abundance. It seems an abundance of support in comparison. I guess relative to relative or comparing support for the LGBTQ community, although they don't quite there's still a bit of ways that can there's still progress that can be made with that. The LGBTQ community today compared to yesteryears and yesterdecades and all that other sort of jazz, things have gotten better since then, but there has been a deterioration, and just that support, the open support for that for the LGBTQ community. That's just one. I was about to say, that's just one thing that's evident of it. Again, a whole lot of deterioration of social norms, social customs that were once deemed appropriate, deemed okay in a past society. Wow, is now okay. What I'll say is this: the mere fact that there are changes means that there are going to be unforeseen dilemmas, unforeseen issues. Matter of fact, I'm not gonna say unforeseen. I'll just say full on blank dilemma, regardless of if anybody sees it coming or not. Dilemmas, issues, challenges, problems, all that other sort of stuff. That shit is definitely going to come. All right, just it naturally just comes with change. All right, and maybe we're going through the growing pains now, but I definitely agree. Just if you're going to have changes with that, there's going to be something that there's always going to be something. Do I want to say against it? Just know that there's always going to be something. Even if you were in an established system, established society, there's an established way of doing things, there will always be something against it. Right? So I say that. Not saying that people should be okay with it. Not saying that what I will say more than anything, they shouldn't. No one should be surprised. No one should be caught off guard by. No one should be caught off guard with that. With that sort of stuff, or at least for their sake, they shouldn't be. Just because, again, like I said, when change like any sort of change is met with resistance, right? Just that we've seen that in many different, whether it be small miniature examples or macro historical examples. And I just sort of kind of like I ended up saying something like similarity to Avengers discoveries of the Infinity Stones, right? Reason why I say that is because, okay, well, to some degree there is comparisons, right? Just as there was the discoveries of the Infinity Stones, apparently society has discovered that that maybe in this particular in I guess in the realms of this particular situation, that what, the LGBTQ people should be treated like they are people. They should be treated with respect. They should be treated as heterosexuals or anybody else, right? Same as people with AIDS and HIV. Everybody should deserve the same, respect and all that. That's a discovery. Apparently, that was a discovery that was made. But nonetheless, that invites again, the the Infinity Stones eventually brought Thanos, right? And guess what? The Thanos for our society and whatnot is going to be more and more freaking issues. And you want to know something? It's going to be some dilemmas just because some of the stuff is new, uncharted territory. Or I don't know, maybe it's not. Maybe this is something that we've ran across in history at some point. I don't know. I don't know what it feels like. It feels like it's uncharted territory, right? So there's still there's growing pains that comes with it, and I guess we as a collective have to figure out a way how to navigate it, and how to make it work for everybody as a unit. Um, but nonetheless, though, I definitely do agree with Ti's point, though. All right, and there's a further topic about basically Lil Nas X and all the controversy surrounding him, but we'll save that for another time, you guys. Now, Dua Lipa, her comments. The one thing that I guess I wanted to point out, and again, this really. I think more so. I'm only speaking to what you guys already know. When I talk of again the way society it's something. It's really something that must not go unnoticed. The and here's my thing. Dua Lipa is not even the person, and people are going to say, okay, well, celebrity, especially people with influence and whatnot, you have a responsibility to speak out for what's right, yada yada, all that other sort of jazz, right? And there's reason, there's rationale behind it, and I'm not saying I disagree with that, but just overall, this is when I just thought that it was just she said, I know my fans know what. Like, I know my fans know where my heart lies, and I stand 100% with the LGBTQ community. The only thing that stood out, it was that it was almost as though when I read that quote, it almost was that like she was defending it. Like, I don't know, it was almost as though she was going about as though she's the one who said it, and it was like, and here's my thing, and it's like, damn, we're really in like a society where that's the thing, like she's not even the person who said it. Like, she may have worked with them or whatever. She's not even the person who said it. But nonetheless, whether now I'm not saying that her intentions are are disingenuous or anything like that. I really think that she stands by what she said. But we're really in a point that, especially if you were guarding against any backlash or whatnot, you'd have to that's what you'd say. I don't recognize, I don't quite know or whatever or whatnot. I know my fans know where my heart lies. That's just really something. And even so much so to the point that I even noticed with myself. I was like, okay, not saying that I did, because now it's a whole bunch of clarification. Not saying that I do, not saying that I don't, blah blah blah, yada yada. There's a whole new system. There's a whole lot. Even in there's more communication, and even within communication, you have to be really, really specific with the way that you communicate. All right. Otherwise, things can go all haywire or whatnot, and things could always be misinterpreted or I don't. It's a whole bunch of shit. But then again, I think it perhaps that all ties back into regardless of what anybody says, no one's gonna be 100% right, and even with the people that are ignorant, they ain't gonna be 100% wrong. But yeah, and as far as Elton John, what he had to say, hey, I now of all of the quotes that we just read, I think that might be a case where that may be 100% or as close to 100% right as outside of perhaps T.I.'s quote, at least in my opinion. But yeah, no, I have no objections or anything towards Elton John. I'm in support of what he also stated as well. But nonetheless, man, it's wow. Wow, some of this stuff again. Even though I put together some information, I put together my thoughts, or whatever. This stuff, a whole Everything just became more complex. Again, for better or worse, because even the simple things in life may be even more complex than one may give credit to or give thought towards. But there's a whole there's everything is like an ocean. You think you scratched the surface. You think you made a discovery. You probably did. You probably did. Encroach upon some good points of interest. But nonetheless, it's always more. It's always more. But nonetheless, y'all, I think that'll be it. That'll be it for this time around. I will save the rest of everything else that I got for Thursday because we are definitely circling the block. We're spinning the block, and we coming back. we coming back for another one, man. I told y'all, I'm doing my best trying to bring back all of what it of all of what I was normally doing, all of what we were doing, basically of the stuff that's ours for the White Empire. And I say ours, for my people at YouTube, and I don't even have that many people for YouTube, at least at this point, but nonetheless, the shit's gonna grow. But, as far as, hey, my people at my Podbean and Buzzsprout, hey, listen, man, y'all, I mean, we're, like I said, we're gonna get acquainted. So again, I'm bringing stuff back, man. We're doing Throwback Tuesdays. Oh, we're doing that. We're doing Throwback Thursdays. We're doing Mobile Mondays. I had intentions of doing Web Wednesdays, and I'm going to be doing that also. So yeah, we got that. Full Game Fridays. Listen, I already sort of kind of play games like if it's like football or basketball. I sort of kind of already play them, to the full on max max amount of time that I do. But we'll still do that. Fight Night Fridays, we still do a little bit of something. But yeah, man. Again, we have a whole lot to offer. We have a whole lot to offer, and we're going to do our best to shine a very bright light on the world. All right. And what I'll say is this: I've said it before in the past videos. Thank you guys so much for your time. Thank you guys so much for your support. Thank you guys so much for your attention. Y'all definitely didn't have to be here, but the fact that you guys are here with me, I will always appreciate that. Thank you guys so much. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like, leave comments. Please leave comments because we talked about excuse me. That was some good dinner. But we talked about a whole bunch of good stuff. So y'all please leave comments. All right. Y'all make sure that y'all subscribe. Share with everybody. Share the link. Share with fucking everybody on your social medias. All right. Share. And most importantly, y'all make sure that y'all stay tuned, stay tapped in, and stay locked in because the juice never stops dripping. All right. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace and be easy.